If she does these 8 things, she's been with a lot of men. Psychology tricks. When you look into her eyes, there's something you can't quite place. A quiet, unsettling feeling that lingers in the air, an unspoken truth. It's not judgment, but curiosity. How many hearts has she touched? How many men have shared their stories with her? We often overlook what's right in front of us. It's not about her past, it's about what her present reveals. Men often make the mistake of digging into her history, searching for clues that are buried beneath layers of present day behavior. The truth is, her past is not something she needs to advertise. It's embedded in her actions, her words, her energy. When a woman has shared her life with many men, you don't need to ask. It's in the way she holds herself, the way she interacts with you, the subtle patterns that tell you she's been here before. This isn't about judgment, but about understanding the psychological imprints that have shaped her ability to connect and commit. Every relationship leaves a mark, much like a key worn down by too many locks. The deeper the emotional connection, the more it leaves its trace. Some women, after many experiences, may struggle to bond as deeply, while others wear their detachment like a second skin. It's not always visible, but if you're paying attention, you'll notice. You might feel when her affection feels rehearsed, when empathy seems like a learned response, or when her charm comes off more like a tactic than genuine warmth. She's a master of making a man feel chosen, but often, that connection isn't really about him, it's about keeping control of her own emotions. This isn't about purity or a number. It's about emotional energy and how it shapes a person's present self. When a woman has been with many men, she often carries fragmented pieces of her past selves. She's learned to adapt, to become different versions of herself depending on who she's with. And when you meet her, you're not just meeting one person, you're encountering the echoes of all the experiences that have shaped her. If you're not aware of these signs, you might mistake emotional distance for confidence, detachment for independence, or her protective walls for a sense of mystery. The first sign, her relationship with intimacy. When it comes to understanding a woman's relationship with intimacy, most men completely miss the first and most telling sign. It's not about physical closeness, but emotional safety. Women who've been with many men tend to view intimacy as a currency, something to be carefully guarded rather than freely given. It's not warmth or genuine connection you feel from her, but rather a performance. She knows exactly what to say, how to touch, and how to make you feel like you're the only man in the room. But behind all that, there's an unsettling emptiness, a space where true emotional vulnerability should be. She'll casually talk about her exes, even joke about past heartbreaks, and might throw around terms like emotionally unavailable, as if it's a badge of honor. But don't be fooled, this isn't confidence, it's emotional fatigue. She's been through too many relationships that started with a bang, only to fizzle out in an instant. Now, she's built walls around her heart, not to keep you out, but to keep herself from experiencing that kind of burn again. Her words may sound open, but there's an energy around her that says, I'm not fully here. When you touch her, she might respond quickly, but when you look into her eyes afterward, you'll sense a strange distance. That distance isn't shyness, and it's not a lack of attraction, it's emotional residue. Psychologists often call it emotional displacement, which is the result of spreading affection too thin over too many past relationships. She doesn't want to be this way. In fact, she probably craves deep love more than anyone else. But she's conditioned herself to keep her heart guarded, to experience connection without fully surrendering. This, my friend, is a classic case of the effects of female psychology in play, driven by a defense mechanism that allows her to enjoy intimacy without risking her heart. That's why, after spending time with her, many men leave confused, saying things like, we had chemistry, so why didn't it work out? The truth is, chemistry wasn't the issue. Her nervous system has learned to disconnect affection from closeness. She just can't believe in permanence anymore. The second sign, her relationship with attention. A woman who's been desired by many men often carries an invisible addiction, not to love, but to validation. You must understand something fundamental. It's not love that fuels her, it's the constant craving for external approval. She isn't driven by genuine connection. She's driven by the need to feel seen, admired, and most importantly, validated. Think about it like this: love, for her, is a transaction. You become less of a partner and more of a supplier of emotional energy. You'll see this dynamic in the smallest, almost imperceptible ways. Her relationship with attention is as intricate as it is revealing. Watch how she checks herself in the mirror when she enters a room. Not because she's vain, but because she needs to assess how others perceive her. The mirror, both literal and metaphorical, is where she goes for a momentary fix. Don't be fooled. It's not just about looking good, it's about staying relevant. You see, her sense of self worth has been constructed over time, shaped by the eyes of others. It's like a house built on shifting sands, always in need of reinforcement from those around her. She craves validation like a lifeline, as if, without it, she could vanish into the ether. The attention of men isn't just flattering, it's essential for her survival. When someone compliments her, it's a calculated response. She doesn't blush. She doesn't shy away. Instead, she absorbs the compliment like a breath of fresh air. A quick thank you, a small smile, and for a fleeting second, you can almost see her relax. Her energy sparkles, her eyes soften. She feels safe in that brief moment. But here's the catch: that moment doesn't last. It's fleeting. She's already thinking about the next hit, the next compliment, the next acknowledgement. This, my friend, is what I call external anchoring. Instead of building her self worth from within, she gathers it in tiny pieces from the men who notice her. Social media? Her personal playground. It's where she reels in attention, fishing for likes and comments, gathering emotional assurance with every new notification. The more likes she gets, the more alive she feels, but deep down, she's hollow. Not because she's shallow, but because she's disconnected from her internal sense of validation. She's feeding off the opinions of others rather than nurturing her own sense of self-worth. You must be aware of this. When a woman is addicted to attention, she's always looking for the next high. She might post a selfie, a song lyric, or a quote, seemingly innocent, but it's all part of the bait. She's casting a line into the sea of social validation, waiting for someone to bite. She's not fishing for compliments out of vanity, but out of necessity. Each interaction serves as a quick hit to quell the hunger inside her. The longer it goes unanswered, the more frantic her need for emotional reassurance becomes. This craving for attention goes far beyond a simple desire for admiration. This is about stability. The moment you, as her partner, stop feeding her emotional hunger, she will look elsewhere for it. Not necessarily in another man, but in the idea of being desired again. Her need for attention becomes a constant cycle of highs and lows. When she's not getting it from you, she'll seek it elsewhere, and the problem isn't that she's unfaithful, it's that she's emotionally hungry. And here's the kicker: love, for her, turns into a transaction. You're no longer a partner, you're a supplier. A supplier of emotional fulfillment, of attention, of validation. If you stop supplying her with this, she'll begin to feel unsettled. This is where things get tricky. Her need for attention becomes an addiction, and she might not even realize it. She will feel unsettled, disconnected from herself, and, ironically, her confidence will become louder. But don't be fooled by the outward show. Her inner peace is missing. Now, I want you to pause and think. This dynamic isn't just about seeking attention. It's about how to fall in love with a high-value man who offers emotional stability, not just compliments. She may be looking for attention, but deep down, she's yearning for something more, something real. A high-value man doesn't just fill her emotional void temporarily. He shows her that love is about mutual respect, emotional depth, and connection. If you want to stand out in her eyes, you must be secure in yourself, emotionally grounded, and able to offer a love that's more than just transactional. So, what does this mean for you? If you recognize this pattern, understand that it's your job to look beyond the surface. Don't get caught up in the noise of compliments and fleeting moments of affection. Recognize the underlying need for emotional validation and aim to provide something deeper, a relationship that nurtures both of you. That's what it means to be a high-value man in her life. You're not just a provider of attention, but of something much more fulfilling. You must remember that when love becomes a transaction, the true depth of connection gets lost. Be the one who offers stability. Be the one who teaches her that real love isn't about external validation. It's about building something lasting from within. At the end of the day, a woman who's used to the game of attention might crave affection, but what she truly needs is the love of a high value man who can offer her something much more substantial. That is the key to breaking the cycle. Do you agree with this view? If yes, comment 1, if no, comment 2, and I would love to hear your views. The third sign, her relationship with boredom. If you want to understand the psychology of a woman who has been with many men, you need to recognize that her relationship with boredom is a key indicator of her past. A woman like this doesn't know how to handle stability because her nervous system has been wired for chaos. The highs, the lows, the chase, the drama, she thrives on it. Psychologists call this dopamine conditioning, where intense emotional experiences literally rewire her brain to crave excitement and unpredictability, often at the cost of peace. When you offer her a calm, stable presence, she won't know what to do with it. She'll start questioning your worth, not because you're boring, but because she's emotionally desensitized to normalcy. This is where her behavior takes a turn for the strange. She may pick fights, disappear for a day to see if you'll chase her, or pull away right when a moment of real connection begins to form. She'll romanticize toxic exes, not because she wants them back, but because the pain and drama they brought gave her that emotional high she now craves. The absence of chaos is unsettling for her, and when you try to offer her consistency, it feels like a void she's not used to filling. It's important to understand this. She doesn't know how to value peace because, to her, drama feels alive. This is where you must rise above, remain grounded, and attract women with your masculine energy. You can't let her destructive cycle sway you. Master the art of maintaining your emotional balance. As the old Stoic wisdom goes, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. This applies to you in a relationship. The key to attracting women who are grounded in reality is not to become a puppet to her emotional roller coaster, but to stay true to yourself, remain calm, and embody a masculine energy that is unaffected by her emotional triggers. You must show up strong, consistent, and powerful. When you stand your ground, not in a domineering way, but in a calm, self-assured manner, she'll begin to see that you offer something far more valuable than drama. You offer stability, confidence, and real emotional connection, which is far more attractive than any fleeting excitement she might chase. Your peace, your groundedness, your quiet strength, this is what will set you apart. Remember this, you must master your own emotions before you can lead her through hers. Don't be manipulated by the chaos. Be the rock that allows her to heal, and when she sees your unshakable foundation, she'll finally recognize what true attraction looks like. The fourth sign, her view of men. Don't focus on what she says about you. Pay close attention to what she says about men in general. A woman who's been through her fair share of experiences often carries a silent, subtle weariness towards masculinity. She might casually joke that all men are the same or confidently declare, "I don't need a man, but I like having one." Don't mistake these words for self-assurance. What you're hearing is the sound of protective detachment, not empowerment. It's a defense mechanism, carefully crafted after countless encounters where trust has been broken. She may allow intimacy, but she'll never give up control. She leads conversations, manages her emotions with precision, and always keeps one step ahead, keeping herself out of harm's reach. Her independence? It's not always about empowerment. Sometimes it's simply armor. Behind her strong facade, there's a woman who has learned to guard her heart, who now views connection more like a statistical probability than a genuine possibility. She engages, yes, but never fully trusts. When you open up to her, she listens, but there's a flicker of disbelief in her eyes. When you swear loyalty, she'll smile, but something in her gut whispers, "We'll see." Her heart has built up walls for protection, but now she's trapped inside, yearning for love, but terrified to give in to it. This is where the psychology tricks of female psychology come into play, because her behavior is deeply rooted in a blend of past hurts and the need for self preservation. You must understand that this isn't just a game for her, it's survival. Her deep seated mistrust doesn't stem from a desire to push you away, but from an inability to fully let herself open up again without risking the pain she's felt before. When you see her hesitating, know that it's not about you. It's about her past, her own battle with trust, and the delicate, guarded heart she's learning to protect. In situations like these, patience and understanding are critical. If you want to break through her walls, you'll need more than just sweet words or promises of loyalty. You'll need to show her that you're different, that she can trust you without fear of betrayal. It's not a simple task, but understanding the psychology tricks at play in her mind will guide you through the process. It's not just about what she says, it's about the silent, unspoken things she reveals through her actions, her body language, and her responses to you. Be patient, be persistent, and most importantly, be someone who is trustworthy, because that is the only way you will ever break down those walls. The fifth sign, her relationship with commitment. Let's face it, women who've been with a lot of men often struggle with commitment, not because they lack loyalty, but because their emotional battery is drained. Picture this: every relationship, no matter how brief, leaves an imprint. Some of those imprints are like light smudges on a canvas, others are deep scars. After enough smudges and scars, it becomes harder to trust that any bond will last. And that's the tragedy of love for these women. At the start of every new connection, she might seem completely devoted, completely passionate, and fully ready for the next chapter in a relationship. You think this is it. She's the one. But hold your horses. When things begin to feel too real, when the word forever starts looming, something shifts in her. And just like that, she starts pulling away. It's not rejection, it's protection. It's defense against the possibility of heartbreak. She's been there before, too many times, and now her nervous system is on high alert. She doesn't trust that love will last because, in her past, it never really did. When a woman who's been around the block emotionally starts talking about compatibility or says things like, "I don't want to force anything," those words sound so grown up, so sophisticated, so reasonable. But you need to know what they really mean. They're exits disguised as wisdom. It's her way of preparing herself for the inevitable heartbreak she's convinced is coming. She tells herself it's not about you, it's just the way life is. But underneath that carefully constructed detachment lies a woman with a soft, fragile heart, one that still craves love, but has forgotten how to fully embrace it. Here's the truth: she has learned how to leave before being left. It's not cruelty, it's survival. She's mastered the art of pushing people away before they can hurt her. In her mind, walking away first is the only way to protect herself from the pain of abandonment. But it's a habit she's built over time, a defense mechanism against the wounds that life has inflicted. It's not an easy thing to undo. This, my friend, is the subtle psychology trick of emotional fatigue. When a woman has been in and out of relationships, she learns to expect the worst. Love becomes something that can be easily walked away from, not because she's not capable of deep affection, but because she's terrified of being trapped in something that isn't forever. So, what does this mean for you? If you're asking how to fall in love with someone like this, the first thing to remember is that it won't be easy. You're dealing with someone who may appear distant or emotionally unavailable, even though deep down, she still wants the connection. But here's the kicker: if you're a high-value man, you can change the game. You must show her that you're different. You need to prove to her that your intentions are real, that your feelings won't fade when the going gets tough. But don't just talk about it. Be the embodiment of stability, consistency, and reliability. You need to be what she's been looking for all along: a safe harbor in the storm. A woman like this will test you. She'll test your patience. She'll test your commitment. She'll test whether you'll leave the moment things get tough. And here's where your inner high-value man must shine through. Stay grounded. Don't back down. Show her that you believe in the possibility of forever and that you're not going anywhere, no matter how much she tries to push you away. Be patient, but also firm. You can't force love, but you can offer a consistent, nurturing presence. That's how you win her trust. That's how you show her that the past doesn't have to define the future. That's how you make her believe that maybe, just maybe, love can be real and lasting. Remember, you're not just any man. You're a high value man. You bring more to the table than just attraction. You bring security, understanding, and most importantly, the ability to stand steady in a world that's taught her to expect nothing but disappointment. So, when she says, maybe we're just not compatible, or I don't want to force anything, don't flinch. Don't retreat. Be the man who shows her that love doesn't have to be temporary. You're not here to be another fleeting chapter in her life. You're here for the whole story. And as you continue this journey, remember, the road to love is never straightforward, but if you stay the course, if you remain unwavering, she will eventually understand what it means to be loved with a depth she's forgotten is even possible. If you find this video valuable, like, comment below, and share it with someone who could benefit. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights on relationships and emotional psychology. Comment to remember, I am a high-value man, and I create lasting connections. This affirmation ties into the content's message of patience, consistency, and offering real, unwavering love. Drop this in the comments below to interact and remind yourself of the power of commitment and trust. The sixth sign, her energy feels scattered. When a woman has been deeply connected with many men, her energy becomes fragmented. One moment, she's warm and magnetic, the next, distant and unreachable. You can't quite reach her soul. That's not mystery, that's fragmentation. Every bond leaves a trace, and when those bonds are repeatedly formed and broken, her emotional system desensitizes. She becomes a mosaic, pieces of different experiences stitched together to form someone alluring yet tired. In her quiet moments, you'll feel it, the stillness where her mind drifts somewhere you can't follow. She's not bad. She's just seen too much of love in too many forms. Now, love doesn't surprise her anymore. It confuses her. Her heart craves connection, but her instincts don't believe it exists. So she stays caught in a loop, craving connection, fearing it, chasing chemistry, escaping peace. And this is where most men go wrong. They try to fix her. But your role isn't to save her, it's to see clearly. Love isn't about rescuing someone who's lost themselves. It's about protecting your peace. Because the number doesn't define her, her patterns do. Her ability to connect, to stay present, to trust, that's where the truth lives. Before you let attraction blind you, look deeper. Feel the energy beneath her words. Sometimes the most beautiful woman in the room isn't looking for love, she's looking for relief. And the man who sees that truth stops trying to be her cure. He becomes her mirror and walks away wiser, not wounded. The seventh sign, her fear of vulnerability. When it comes to understanding the psychology tricks behind a woman's behavior, one crucial sign to pay attention to is her fear of vulnerability. Women who have been with a lot of men often struggle with this on a deep level, and it's not because they don't trust you, it's because they don't trust the outcome. Each time they've let their guard down in the past, they've been hurt, and with each heartbreak, the lesson has been drilled deeper into their psyche. It becomes a survival mechanism, one that keeps them emotionally safe, but leaves them emotionally unavailable. You'll notice it in the way she holds back, even when you're at the peak of intimacy. She'll give you just enough to make you feel like you're close, but when things start to get too real, too vulnerable, she'll retreat. She's not running from you. She's running from the fear of being hurt again. Her emotional armor has been forged by past wounds, and she's learned to keep her feelings under control, to never expose too much of herself. This doesn't mean she doesn't want connection. No, beneath all that guardedness, she still longs for emotional intimacy, for someone who can see beyond the walls she's put up. But here's the thing. Breaking through those walls takes patience, and that's where the psychology tricks of female psychology come into play. You have to understand that she's not trying to play games or push you away. She's trying to protect herself from the possibility of pain. The key here is to recognize the deep fear she carries, fear of vulnerability, and approach it with understanding. If you're patient, if you're willing to let her move at her own pace, there's a chance you might be the one to unlock the door she's carefully bolted shut. But make no mistake, this isn't easy. She's been hurt, and the scars left behind are not easily erased. She's been through the emotional ringer, and now vulnerability feels like a risk that she's not sure she can take. This is the tricky part. Her reluctance to let go is a result of the hard lessons she's learned in her past relationships. Recognizing this fear and acting with empathy and care can make all the difference in navigating her emotional landscape. The fear of vulnerability isn't just an obstacle, it's a psychological defense mechanism, one that's deeply embedded in her psyche. So don't rush her, don't push her too hard, and most importantly, don't take it personally when she pulls back. Instead, be the kind of person who can provide safety and reassurance, the one who understands that patience is a virtue when it comes to healing old wounds. This is the way to move closer to the emotional intimacy that she craves but is too afraid to openly seek. And if you find today's content very interesting, please give me a word of encouragement by commenting "very interesting" in the comments section. That is a huge motivation for us. Thank you. The eighth sign, her need for independence. Let's talk about independence. You know that feeling when someone constantly wants their space, and you start wondering, is she pulling away from me, or is there something else going on? Well, if she's been with a lot of men, chances are it's not about you. It's about her. A woman who has been through several relationships often develops an inherent need for independence that can be as unshakable as a mountain. Now, picture this. While many women find solace in the arms of their partner, there's this type of woman who's a little different. She leans inward, but her independence is her fortress. She doesn't rely on anyone, not emotionally, not financially. Why? Because she's learned the hard way that no one is guaranteed to stick around forever. She's witnessed the temporary nature of relationships and, over time, build a life where she stands strong on her own 2 feet. She's emotionally self-sufficient. She's got her career or finances locked down, and her personal space is non-negotiable. She doesn't need anyone. And that can make her seem distant, uninterested, or hesitant to fully commit. But here's the catch. It's not that she doesn't want love. It's just that she doesn't want to lose the very thing that's kept her grounded, her autonomy. This isn't just some quirky trait. It's a survival mechanism. She's learned that getting too close to someone might mean losing herself in the process. And let's face it, that's a dangerous game she's unwilling to play. If you've been with many people, you're probably familiar with the emotional scars that come with giving too much and getting little in return. This need for independence, then, is rooted in pain, in the fear of losing herself in someone else. So, don't take it personally. She's not rejecting you. She's protecting her heart. But here's the golden nugget. She does want love. She's just looking for someone who can appreciate her space, someone who understands that her independence doesn't mean emotional detachment. It means she values her identity above all. She's not afraid of commitment. She's afraid of losing herself in it. If you can show her that you respect her boundaries, that you can love her without demanding her independence, you just might be able to win her heart. Let's break this down further. How do you deal with a woman like this, especially if you're trying to figure out how to fall in love with someone who seems so emotionally distant? First off, it's important to understand that respect for her independence is key. You must show her that you respect her autonomy. If she's had her own space, her own life for so long, don't make her feel like she's being suffocated by your needs. Instead, show her that you're a high-value man who can stand beside her without feeling the need to control or possess her. That's how you win her trust and affection. Don't mistake her independence for disinterest. You need to recognize that it's a shield, and it's a shield she's not likely to drop easily. But if you can prove to her that you won't take away her sense of self, she'll start to let you in. And the more you respect her need for space, the more she'll appreciate you. It's a fine balance, but it's a balance you must navigate if you want to move forward. Be patient, the understanding, but above all, be firm in your own value. A woman who has learned to protect her heart with her independence won't just open up to any man. She needs someone strong enough to understand her fears and wise enough to respect her boundaries. If you're a high-value man, you're already ahead of the game. You don't need to play games. You need to show her that you're a man who has his own life, his own space, and his own value, just like she does. That's how you build mutual respect, and that's how you slowly break through the walls she's built around her heart. So, here's the bottom line: don't push her. Don't try to mold her into someone who needs you. Show her that you're okay with her needing herself first. This is the key to unlocking her heart. She wants love, but not at the expense of her independence. If you can respect that and build your relationship around mutual respect and understanding, then you're on the right track. Now, go ahead and be that high value man. The ninth sign: her emotional guard is always up. If she does these 8 things, she's likely been with a lot of men. One of the clearest signs is the emotional guard she keeps up. You'll notice it even if she appears calm, collected, and playful. There's always a boundary, an invisible line she's drawn to protect herself. She might enjoy your company, share laughter, and even flirt, but when things start getting too close or emotions run too deep, you'll feel her pull back. It's not a sign that she's not invested or that she doesn't like you. On the contrary, she might desire closeness more than anything. But there's a fear that comes with it: the fear of vulnerability. She's been hurt before, and that pain has taught her to keep her emotional walls high. She's learned that opening up can lead to heartbreak and disappointment. Her past has shown her that giving too much of herself leaves her exposed, and she'd rather protect her heart than risk losing herself in someone else. Understanding this is key. Don't push her too hard. Respect her pace, show consistent masculine energy, and give her space to trust you in her own time. If you force her to break through her walls too soon, she'll retreat. But if you are patient, show strength in your consistency, and avoid getting frustrated, she'll slowly begin to let her guard down. Attracting women isn't about forcing them to reveal themselves before they're ready. It's about earning their trust and allowing them the time they need to open up. As Old Stoic wisdom teaches, patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet. Remember, her emotional boundaries are not a reflection of her feelings toward you. They're a reflection of her past experiences. Respect them, and you'll build a foundation of trust. Her walls will come down over time, but only if you show genuine respect for her emotional pace and embrace your masculine energy. Like the Stoic thinkers of old, understand that mastering life and relationships takes discipline, patience, and unwavering strength. Don't let her walls intimidate you. Use them as a challenge to prove your worth. Don't rush, don't chase, and don't settle. Victory is in the steady pursuit. Keep your focus. Keep your strength. And you'll see her open up when the time is right. You must lead with calm, confidence, and unwavering belief in yourself. That's how you win her trust and heart. Hey, thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more content like this. Also, I'd love to hear what you think about the topic. Feel free to share your thoughts, feedback, or any experiences you'd like to discuss in the comments below. I always enjoy reading your opinions and engaging with you all. Remember, understanding these psychology tricks can give you a new perspective on relationships, but always approach each situation with respect and understanding. See you in the next video.